Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. My name is Pritesh with KAIZN Crypto. I'm excited to be joined by Abe, who is the creator of the Cardano Waifus project. We're going to be talking about all things Cardano Waifus, CNFTs, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. So, Abe, thanks so much for joining us today, man. How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me, man. Long time fan here. Whenever it comes to like educating people, your channel is one of the ones that I've been putting people on, especially for the staking stuff. So I just want to open up the floor by saying thank you for your content that you do, man. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm doing good.
That's awesome. Yeah, brother. I really appreciate that. It seems like it's been such a long time since I started with this YouTube channel, but it feels like I'm just excited as ever with all the cool stuff happening. So I really
For
appreciate
sure.
that, man. I'm looking forward to our conversation today. I guess to start, man, like as far as you knowing about you and like learning about your story, Cardano waifus and how that all came about. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your journey through Cardano. So I guess maybe tell us a little bit about how you heard about it, what got you started, and where you are right now.
Sure. So, whenever the pandemic hit, like 2020, it was a horrible year for a lot of people. Luckily, that was my year of, I like to say, awakening of sorts. I really started doing more research into like, all right, how am I going to financially stabilize myself for the future? I want to set myself up for success. I want to take care of my family, my pets, you know what I mean? So I got into reading Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if
Very
you've read that or
nice.
not.
I
It's
did.
an amazing book,
I love it.
and it really set me in a really amazing mindset to move forward. And then from there, I spent a lot of the a lot of my time that I was in quarantine reading as much as I can, watching as many YouTube's videos as I can about crypto and which ones are having the best tech and everything like that. And one that kept on coming up was Cardano. So I watched more videos on Cardano. That's how I found you. That's how I found people like the Crypto Advisor, Big Pay, and all those other YouTubers that had like really amazing content that is no FOMO, no like just pure FUD or anything. So I started watching those and I started securing my bag before staking was even a thing. Um, all the prices were horrible back then. So I was like, oh, great. This is perfect for me to get into this right now. So accumulated my bag more and just kept up with progress on like what's going on in Cardano. And like, then proof of stake happened. And I was like, okay, how do I get in? Well, the testnet happened first. And I was like, okay, how do I get into the testnet? Couldn't really get into the testnet. I was like, fine. So I got into whenever the mainnet dropped for staking. And I remember using your video actually to how to set up my wallet to make sure I'm doing everything correctly.
Wow. That's
Yeah. So
cool.
like, oh yeah. So like I got into a nice SPO, um, even though I hardly knew what the difference was at the time, kind of thing on all that
Sure.
stuff.
Yep.
And from there just kept on holding. And the next thing you know, boom, Cardano now has NFTs. And I'm just like, no way, like NFTs. And I remember sitting there at work just looking at these space buds and I'm just like,
Yes.
what are these things? You know what I
Yep.
mean? I don't really care for these. The next thing you know, like that opportunity went. I will always regret that. But I got into the next thing, which was Cardano Bits, and I remember how fun
The
that
the
was.
Google
And
Docs.
the Google
Yeah,
Docs.
the
Oh
Google
man,
Docs. Infamous.
oh man, I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm glad that like I'm just really glad it worked.
I know.
Like,
I remember that dropped. It's just it's surprising how they pulled it off. But yeah, man, I went
right?
ham on that thing. I was like, I saw what
Oh
happened with
man,
Space Buds. I think we were in the same boat. I
right?
was like, I'm gonna go crazy on this one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I managed to get some like really awesome ones on Mint and then some other ones on the secondary market, which was the first time that I ever actually like stepped foot in a community like that. So like here I am on like the CNFT Discord back whenever it was just a Discord, like just stalking through it, not really being too active, but just looking around to see what's going on. And that grew up even more. And that's whenever I started having the idea. I'm like, well, I've managed to accumulate enough ADA that like I can start something, you know what I mean? And a YouTuber that my friend put me on a little bit, like Alex Becker, huge crazy dude, but he said something that really resonated with me, and it's one of those things that it's just like, well, you can hold the asset and just hope it goes up and just speculate kind of thing on it, or you could take a chance, start an emerging business that has ample opportunity to potentially grow and practically guarantee your own like wealth by just putting in that work. And I was like, you know what? Like, that's a great idea. So I reached out to one of my good buddies and he put me onto his brother who is a master coder, by the way. Like this dude's insane. I managed to somehow get him into Cardano. Like I just sweet
Well
talk him
done.
enough to like get him into it. And
Nice.
I thought he was just gonna get in enough that like he was just gonna do my project and whatnot. Nah, this dude is like Plutus Pioneer program,
No
like
way.
about to start his own node, like has his
Nice.
project, like he's on it. Like he's on it. And this was all within the span of a couple of months. So it really solidified like, okay, like I'm here to kind of stay, you know what I mean? And after that project started like building, um, and I started getting content out and I started joining these Twitter spaces, like I realized that like, wow, I've never had this before kind of thing. I've always been kind of like a loner by myself, you know what I mean? Just a homebody and stuff. And um yeah, like oh my God, Twitter Spaces, the Cardano community, man, has been one of the most like supportive, almost family like groups that I've ever been a part of, and I'm like incredibly grateful that the community like has opened me, like has not opened me, but has accepted me with open arms.
Yeah, they've like welcomed you in, and that's one thing I've really felt as well. It's just like you go into it not really knowing what to expect, and then all of a sudden you're just immersed by so many creative ideas and all these supportive people just kind of putting out their ideas and sharing with you. And it's really incredible, just the
Oh yeah.
collaboration from the community. I love it.
Oh yeah. And it's super cool because like I never really joined Twitter like hardcore until like Cardano. So like
Yeah,
I don't
same.
know what like Bitcoin community or Twitter or like Ethereum community is or anything whenever it came to that stuff. So I'm glad that my first taste of like a community was Cardano, so I didn't get that like burnt out taste of like Ethereum and Bitcoin. And what I love is like how many smart people are in the space too. Like they're
Yeah,
very level headed, they're really smart, and there's just so many awesome things.
I know, man. Well, that's really cool, dude. I love your story. I feel like we relate on so many levels with that story, but I'm really glad to learn more about that. So I wanted to talk with you now since we're mentioning these CNFTs, I guess. So, we saw Space Buds, we saw Cardano Bits, a lot of these OG projects. What was the inspiration behind Cardano Waifus?
I'm a huge anime nerd. I never really
Nice.
had enough money to like ever like you know ever get into it enough that like as a lot of other people did, and it kind of like got me a little upset, but not necessarily like jealous. I watched over like 70 different anime in my lifetime just because I had just that much time when I was younger to do so. And I realized that like, wow, I know a lot about Cardano now, much more than I did before. And like I just wanted a certain way to do a homage to like Cardano. Like I wanted to be able to like provide a project that like not only like scratches my anime itch of like just hot waifus because I love
It's
waifus.
like you combine your
Um,
two passions, right?
yeah,
Cardano and
combine my
anime.
two passions. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
figure that like other people would like that too because it's just one of those things. The anime is just it's always growing more and more, and I feel like really nerdy people like Cardano too. So like, or at least really nerdy people, you know what I mean? There's a niche community there, and I figured
sure.
like that like not only can I bring them in with just the anime people, I can also bring them in because each one relates and is influenced by a certain aspect of Cardano. So
Yeah.
for instance, Cardano waifu herself, she has a personality, a bio, and I tried my best to make it in a way that still intertwines and Easter eggs to Cardano itself. Like Cardano was made in September, so she's a Virgo, and
Okay.
Charles is from Denver, so I made the favorite drink a snowball because that's apparently what the favorite like drink in Colorado is. So there are little things like that, and then I just went on to make a list of 10 waifus that all have a respective place in my heart for, like, I guess you can say like a pioneer, inspiration, or like just like when you think Cardano, like these are the things that come up first, kind of thing. So
Another
yeah,
one
I
I was
was really
thinking of
excited.
is Cardano had their ICO in Japan. You know, they've got a big Japanese community.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly. And I actually just started converting like my tweets also in Japanese too, so I can further bridge those borders. I remember a lot of other CNFT creators, and I've spoken to some of the Japanese community. They're really excited to get into this stuff, and like they see what's going on over here, and they don't know how to quite do it yet, but they're really excited to get into it. And I think that like it would be really awesome if I can help them with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw that. That was one where you mentioned the latest KAIZN waifus.
I
That was
did,
I
yes.
saw that one. I was like, this is so cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and like that was one of the things. Like I view you as one of those people that like you were in the forefront of Cardano. You were making videos before Cardano was even proof of stake. You were making videos that how to set up a node for proof of work on Cardano and stuff. So like it's really cool to like, you know what I mean, to like pay that homage to that, because you're one of those when I think of Cardano, you come to mind, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean with Cardano, it had the Byron, you know, so you had like the really really old style Daedalus wallet, like you know,
Yep.
really
Yep.
early days. But yeah, man, it's incredible just to see how far the project's come. It's like everybody was talking about it then. When Shelly, and then all of a sudden Shelly hits, and then it's like when Gogan, here we are. You know, we're waiting
Oh
on all
yeah.
these dexes to pop up, and it's just I really am glad just to see the evolution of the project as well as the community, you know, just the growth from all aspects, and then to see projects like yours where it's like you've filled a niche within a niche if you think about it. And I think that that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're kind of finding where they fit in this big picture of cryptocurrencies, but then you've got Cardano, which is like a smaller subsection of that. So yeah, man, I love it. It's just like there's a lot of collaboration with these smaller groups, and then we're all just growing and getting bigger together. So that's
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
really awesome and rewarding for sure.
I think with your project, one thing I'm really curious about is so now with these NFTs, I guess it's really up to your own imagination, right? So like you can create anything. And I guess maybe what are some of your favorite waifus? And I guess what about it specifically is makes it your favorite?
So I really like Daedalus just because I like thick thighs. They save lives,
They
and
do.
she's pretty. She's a pretty thick girl, and I really appreciate that. Also, I just love the inspirations that I took to get there. I took a lot of like I said, I've watched a lot of anime, so I've seen a lot of waifus. So I took some of my favorite attributes from some of my favorite waifus and kind of tried to incorporate it in. And so like her horns are from like an anime called Overlord. Her hair color is similar to I forgot the other one's name, but like all of these little things just in between to kind of like really get that feeling of like a waifu. Another thing that I really love is that like Daedalus was the first wallet, you know? Like
Ah, okay.
so I like that, like that first movers advantage kind of thing. Another reason why I like her, she chose to donate whenever she sells out a portion of, or 1,000 ADA to be exact, to a animal rescue organization that I actually bought my ferret from or adopted my ferret from. It's a local,
Cool.
like really awesome organization that they can have upwards to 100 ferrets at a time in their facilities
Whoa.
because people get these animals and they think it's going to be a cakewalk. It's for the kids. They end up having to take care of it. They realize it's exotic and they just can't handle it anymore, kind of thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, that one has a special place in my heart. Obviously, Cardano Waifu, has a big place in my heart, as Cardano is the biggest reason why I'm even here able to talk to you today, kind of thing. So I have to definitely give my respect there. KAIZN I really like just because like I watched a lot of like Shonen Jump stuff, and whenever it comes to like the samurai battles and Shonen and Shogun and all that stuff, like I grew up on that. Like Naruto is one of my favorite shows, kind of thing. So like you give me a hot girl with like a katana, and like I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
You're speaking my language, man. Like seriously, that's just, oh man. Like with the whole Kaizen theme and like the samurai, I'm all about that.
Like I really hoped I envisioned like you and your brand like to like as much as I can to keep it, you know what I mean, cohesive. Like that's a big thing that I like, cohesiveness. Like it has to make sense, but like the inspiration and what you get have to make sense to me.
Very true. Very true. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So as far as what you're thinking about for the future, there's just so many things to look forward to, I guess, in terms of what we're seeing now with metaverse stuff, VR stuff. We did talk a bit about that briefly, but maybe what are some of the things that you're seeing? And then also, how do you think that Cardano waifus could be incorporated with that?
So I see a very big boom in metaverse, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger, kind of thing. So I wanted to try and bring that into my project with baby steps. Originally, what I planned to do was to create an immersive experience. And I actually have like a little demo video that like one of the game devs just ripped up together really quickly. You know what I mean? Not one of those things that are like in development, just a proof of concept kind of thing, where somebody would be able to use their waifu, load them up into this VR area that they would be able to interact with them. So, you know what I mean? Have jiggle mechanics, turn off and on their little, like, depending on what tier you have, turn off and on their little animations and whatnot, and have them follow you around in this room, and like just be able to like be there with them, like have that like connection, and so that's what I originally had planned, but unfortunately I did get burned by a really good friend of mine that I wanted to invest and see succeed, and that took big chunk of what I was going to be planning for that stuff to come to life. So what I did now is I started with getting 3D models made. There's already 3 made, or 4 made now. Yours, Daedalus, Emergo, and Cardano Waifu, they all have their 3D models made. And what I want to do is try to create utility now. And the way I'm doing that is if you hold any waifu kind of thing, and you want to get a 3D model of one, you would have to burn your current one to get it. So for instance, if I have a Cardano waifu and I want a 3D Cardano waifu model, I would go to my site, send in that waifu along with a little fee, and then bing, bang, boom, I get back a 3D waifu that my hopes is to be able to connect it to the metaversal game experience that I have planned. Sure. So it's a nice little easy way to still be able to provide more value to my community. I tried to have them be involved in a lot of the decisions that I make as well. So a lot of this stuff, I've talked to them already, and they've given me their support on and whatnot. So it's really nice to know that, I'm kind of heading in the right direction here with it. But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm really excited for. Another thing that I think is really cool too is with these 3D NFTs that we'll be making, they'll also have a link. I want to get a link there so they can download that model specifically and use it for any other appliance that they'd like. So if they want to hop into VR chat with Cardano waifu, they could do that already, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or say, for instance, these other Cardano projects, they have an option that you can load in models and whatnot. That would be a really cool way to do so. I know that there's projects like Adam Dean's and Crypto Nitty's Ludo token
that
yep. that you could already kind of load in these NFTs. So like, what's to stop them from, putting in a Emergo waifu, dataless waifu, or, giving just the option to spread the Cardano waifu love.
Okay, so what you're doing there is you're creating extra utility for the waifus, whether it's VR, whether it's, I guess, in terms of using it for other NFT projects. So you really just want to spread the brand, spread the love, as you said. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I'm doing it for like I said, for free. Like the only thing that my holders are going to pay is just that fee to mint kind of thing. I don't want to keep making these paywalls for them kind of thing. I don't see it as fair kind of thing. They already paid a price for admission kind of thing. I do have other airdrops that I also do whenever waifus sell out, but it's just one of those things that I really like to give back kind of thing. So.
Yeah. One thing I'm really curious about is just, so you're talking about being able to go to the website and say, burn one of these waifus. Mm-hmm. In addition to that NFT and the fee, like what other things are required? Is it just that? So like pretty much anybody who has one of these waifus has the option at any time if they wanted to burn it and then just get the 3D version. Like, so there's no like real requirements here. You're giving the user the option.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to force anybody. I like to create options. Not everybody likes the same things kind of thing. So being able to give the option of, hey, would you like a 3D waifu or would you like to keep your current card? Now, granted, the rarities won't be there just yet. Like I said, I still have to work on a lot of different things behind the scenes, and with the support of the community, I think I'm going to be able to get there for sure.
Yeah.
But you will be able to get yours, and the only thing that you have to do is decide and wake up one day, hey, I want a 3D waifu now.
Yeah, there you go. Stepping it up in the world.
Oh yeah. And now I am going to try and do steady releases of these. So the first one I'm having worked on right now is Cardano Waifu. So she should be done before February, before the end of February. I like to give a nice modest gap just to make sure I have everything planned, because the Cardano way it's not a race, it's a marathon. So want to make sure I do that correctly and everything. And then from there, keep on with the main series launches, each month, try to get out one waifu that I have planned and already like nice and ready to go. And yeah.
All right. That's cool. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that. Being able to take a KAIZN waifu, like turn it into a 3D KAIZN waifu, like, oh
yeah.
And so Pool PM, right? Pool PM makes that all possible, I guess, because
Correct.
we don't have like the VR yet, right? So this would be something where the user would see in their browser, they would go to Pool PM, link up their wallet, boom, 3D Cardano waifu.
Bingo.
Okay.
Bingo.
Okay.
And the goal would be for after, like if the game ever comes to fruition kind of thing, be able to potentially either rewrite the metadata or send in another copy so they can still maintain that 3D waifu as an NFT, but click a link to take them to this dedicated, website of sorts that I want it to be not only desktop compatible, but also VR compatible too. So like you'd still be able to have like a 3D experience, you know what I mean, with a mouse and a keyboard, just for people that don't necessarily have a VR headset yet. But if they do, plug that bad boy in and use it.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. I love that idea. Yeah. So, all right. We talked a lot about what you got going on there with waifus. I'm just, I'm looking forward to it, man. Because, one thing I really appreciate is good art. And our community is filled with amazing artists. It's just so cool just to see all the different collaborations. I feel like I'm very blessed in that sense. Like just the community shows so much love in that sense, especially with all the like collabs that people have done for the KAIZN brand. I've noticed that, and it's just so cool to be a part of that. And I'm really grateful to you for incorporating our brand into your project. So, thank you for that. Yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to what you got going on. I love the artwork. Always have been a fan, and man, can't wait to see what you do with it.
I appreciate it. One last thing, I also, outside of Cardano Waifus, I'm actually doing a lot of work with some of the people that like have given me that the confidence and the platform to like really make Cardano Waifus big, and that's the Ada Cafe. I'm not sure if you've heard about it yet, but they came out with the one of the first NFVs, which would be a non-fungible visualizer. Essentially, it's a completely on-chain clock that tells you and visualizes when the epoch ends. And
Okay. That's
yeah,
awesome, dude. That's so
oh yeah,
cool.
oh yeah. It was modeled off of the Swiss, a Swiss clock tower. I forget what's the name of it is,
Uh-huh.
but it's really cool, and it gives you access to be a patron into the Ada Cafe, which we're still working on a lot of stuff. But the whole reason why the Ada Cafe
Wow.
was made because we hold these spaces regularly and nobody makes a dime for them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we wanted a way to incentivize the community to not only be able to have this really cool tech, but also be able to get in on some of the benefits there, as well as support the host like myself, Cardano 420, Cardano Guru, all those guys that host these spaces regularly for the Cardano community. Um, the whole point of it is to be as like a platform kind of thing for either new projects that want to launch or people that just want to join the community but don't know how. Like, you can join on one of these spaces, you can check our website, you can request if you're a new project to talk on one of the spaces, like
Wow.
just be able
Wow.
to be this multimedia like hub for the community.
Sure. I love that. I
So
love that. So you've basically created a way for people to support your, your Twitter spaces, which is offering a platform to people who want to come on and share their ideas. So I like the idea there. You had me at a timer for Epoch End. I mean, I think that's perfect because I think one of the Twitter spaces is actually called Epoch's End. Speaking of
yep,
which, there's
yep,
probably one today. It's actually Ada
there
Payday
is.
today. But
Yep, it's payday.
that man, I can just picture it now. I feel like, ever since I started with the stake pool game, it's like my life is measured in epochs now.
Right, right.
So I love the idea. That's fantastic. Is there any links that we can get from you so that anybody who'd like to support you can get those? And I'll be sure to
Yeah,
throw those down below.
yeah. Let me get those up real quick here.
Okay, so
All
yeah,
right.
man, that's really cool. I think we can go ahead and get that sorted at the end of the video. So for our viewers,
Oh,
if you are watching right now, go ahead and check out those links. Be sure to support these guys. We're out here offering the community platforms, ways to share your ideas, get your voices heard. So yeah, man, I'll be sure to leave those links for our viewers down in the description. But Abe,
for sure.
I enjoyed this conversation, man. It's always so nice to talk to members in our community. Is there anything that you wanted to leave us with before we wrap up for today?
I just want to say a big thank you to you, as well as all the people that have supported me so far. Thank you guys so much. KAIZN Waifu drops January 15th at 6 p.m. UTC. And
I will be
not only
there.
that,
I
awesome,
cannot wait for
awesome.
that.
Not only that, the price for mint is going to be 30 ADA, just flat. We did away with the tier system just because I think it's really outdated now, and it really demotivates people if they just have daily lives that they can't just get in on time to get something. So I wanted to make sure I keep that cool and kosher. And then last but not least, also I do want to do giveaway for anybody who's watching as well. KAIZN and I will be discussing maybe details a little bit later. So maybe on his Twitter, maybe on this video, whichever one, to do a B tier KAIZN waifu giveaway as a
Sweet.
commemorative thing to be excited for. And then of course, just I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm just
I mean,
excited about a lot
yeah,
of
dude,
things.
that's enough to get me pumped. We got a KAIZN sale coming up and a giveaway. So yeah, we can definitely discuss those details. I think maybe for the giveaway, what we could do is for anybody who leaves a comment on this video and then heads over to our Twitter, just go ahead and give us both a follow. So Cardano Waifus and KAIZN Crypto. I think that's probably about as easy as it can get. We'll leave all those links for you guys. So if you want to enter to win a awesome KAIZN Waifus NFT, go ahead and check that out. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Abe, I really do appreciate you coming on the channel, man. Anytime, you're always welcome. I really enjoyed our conversation today, but thank you so much, everybody. Until the next
Take
one.
care.